is Adam Jarrell, and I've been with American Storage for 7 years now. I'm based outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. Our territory covers pretty much all of North Carolina. So when I got started, we had 7 properties, and then today we have 15. And so that growth has been a little bit at a time. We have properties that cover, Class A multi-story, Class A bi-level, B and C class properties. We have several properties with a cell tower on them. We have a pretty diverse mix of properties. I got my start, I went to NC State for business, and while I was working in my business degree, I was working in real estate. And so storage was definitely a different deal. I was surprised by how far behind the technology was. So there were a lot of pain points in storage. Servicing accounts was difficult because the software that we used was tied to a local machine that just came with some inherent limitations. If we wanted to add additional facilities, the computers that our team was using had to be that much more powerful to run another physical, desktop client. Some of that pain point, some of the friction was born out of the fact that it was multiple solutions. We're trying to work together, but that caused a lot of problems because anytime you add a different software vendor, a different solution to the mix, it creates an additional friction point between interfaces, and it makes it hard for us to troubleshoot. My team has to know about all these different software solutions and how to identify which one a customer interacted with, and it just creates a huge problem. And with Cubby, that's been a big difference because we have control over the solution. It's one provider for the most important parts that a customer touches. The thing that I appreciated about Cubby, the reason that made me want to switch, is a lot of companies, when we do the software kind of analysis step, look at their software, when we'd ask questions about a convenience component, like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had a really simple buy flow for customers? And it was like, well, yeah, that would be great, but it's but it's not in the roadmap. It's just like the product's the product, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then you don't. With Cubby, it was very different because when we had some of those, like, wouldn't it be great? They're like, yeah, it is great. We're working on it, and it's going to release in 2 weeks. Like, okay, well, that's cool. And that was very, very different from conversations with some of the other software companies that we had. Transitions are tough. I've been through a few, and so I was nervous about the transition. In terms of how it went, it was the smoothest software migration I've ever done by far. With Cubby, it had quick pay links out of the box, meaning that a tenant could pay their bill without logging in because they were receiving a unique link to them. Also in Hub and Spoke, the ability to look up customers quickly, just a true universal search was amazing. There's no more toggling between screens or software switches or, my desktop client just crashed, so now I have to reboot that. With Cubby now, that doesn't happen. And so that's a huge, huge efficiency boost. One of the things that I really appreciated was their checkout process. So if a person submits contact information, starts that process, we get that as an abandoned checkout, whether they've hit a button, whether they've whatever, if they made any attempt to start that checkout process, we have contact information and we can follow up. We've seen a substantial drop in the number of customer service calls. Most customers are now servicing their own accounts, and the call volume has dropped pretty significantly from where it was a year ago. It's 20 to 30% drop. We've seen a jump in collections, and I think that's totally due to making it really easy for the customer to pay their bills. Looking from where I am now, where I've been and where we're going, the thing that gives me a lot of confidence is that we've made a software transition that will allow us to grow and run our business in the way that we want to run it. And so, opening that door is it's a big game changer for me. I feel like I can make that next acquisition, and I'm not going to get tripped up on little things like, is the computer hardware running fast enough to handle the number of customers that we have? So I think the big thing is we've gone through our transition, so now we have a pretty stable platform that we can use to feel confident about future growth. What I want to do is I want to buy 1 to 2 facilities a year and continue that growth trajectory. Cubby allows me to bring on more facilities, to be able to manage them truly in the way that I want to manage them.